Okay, I got that far on this side, and on this other side it shows me where the point is coming through right here. So I just need to drill there and go on through, and it should match up with the inside. Here's what the inside disc looks like that I pulled out of the wall. Well, that's bound to determine the straight. It's making an impression, but not much. I better get some oil. I was just watching a do-it-yourself on the YouTube yesterday, and it was saying how when you add oil to metal, when you're trying to get through it, it helps to lubricate the blade, keeps your blade longer. I think these keyhole saws are made for wood, and I'm really stressing it, trying to get it to work through this, but I'm adding a little oil here. Maybe it'll help. Let's take a look at that and see what it's doing. It's warm. Just needs a little bit more down here. Slow and steady. There we go, we're through. Woo! Now that's what we were looking at as far as the inside goes. Here's the metal disc. There. Not a bad finish. I'm going to file this off a little bit this time. Finger test. Yeah, that's alright. That's what it looks on the inside. I am sure glad I put my aluminum HVAC tape around, because look how it started to tear right there into the surrounding. That HVAC aluminum tape, that's the only thing that saved my lining. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's see if I measured it correctly. On this side so you can see. Yeah. That's what I like. So the tube fits here in our overflow and goes right through the wall. Now I'm going to cover up this hole with HVAC tape and put on my plastic, fill it up with insulation here, and then put my plastic cover around it that I saved from my water heater when I took it. Wow, it's a gorgeous day out today. Yesterday the weather turned really wet, rained a little, pretty cold with the wind, and I had to cut my work short. But today it's just gorgeous. There's not a cloud in the sky and it's beautiful. So we're going to get back to work on this. And today I want to be drilling the other two holes for the pipes going out, the hot and cold. And I also want to work a little bit more on that tin reflector, that galvanized steel reflector that I'll be putting on the back. That'll be today's projects. But let's get these holes drilled for the hot and cold first. It's the same procedure as before that we did for our relief valve. We're gonna take a little pipe or flashlight or stick or whatever, see where we need to drill into the wall, cut out the lining, put the reinforcing HVAC aluminum tape on there so that the keyhole saw doesn't tear it up, and then we drill. Hey, Rascal. Well, the end of the curtain rod that I cut off is too long for this job, and it's too big around. Rascal, get out of the chicken yard. Thank you, Hope, for letting me know. Yeah, your big sister's watching out for you, isn't she? But I found a piece of sunflower stalk. Sunflower stalks are nice and straight, and it ought to work for a quick measure. Just need to break it off to the right length. I'm breaking off the other end because I sure don't want to get any of that fiber down in my tank. Okay, there we go. So that's telling me it needs to go right here. That's for our hot water measure. And now we'll do the cold water coming in. I'll get the camera up here so you can see what I'm doing. There you go. I've just taken the sunflower stalk and put it inside the tube, letting it rest in there, and it shows me that I have to put it right here. Oh, I was thinking, I don't need to be cutting these little circles out. If I put the HVC tape on there and just drill with my keyhole saw, that's all that's needed. This is cutting this out is a waste of time. I'm not going to do that. Well, my good neighbor Glenn came by and took a look at my bread box, and he'd never seen a solar heater like this, and I showed him my sun oven, and he thought that was pretty cool. So he told me, he said, you know, if it gets to the place where, this is something his dad told him, he said if it gets to the place where you think you know everything, he says you're doing two things. You're fooling yourself and you're lying to somebody else. So I think that's pretty good. There's always going to be something you can learn. Let's get the other three pieces of the aluminum tape down on this one, and then we can drill. In case you hopped in on this parts 15 and skipped the last part, these about finger length pieces of HVAC aluminum tape are being applied around the spot where I'm going to drill holes for the hot and the cold piping. And the reason I'm doing that is so the abuse that will come from drilling through the wall will be absorbed by this stronger aluminum tape. This backing, the Reflectix, has interlocking threads where the aluminum is drawn over it for extra strength, but I have to tell you, it's not strong at all. So you need to protect it where you can. It is just aluminum after all. It's a thin reflective aluminum. So you just got to keep that in mind whenever you're doing stuff. So I put it at a tripod shape, TP shape, triangle shape, and then we'll drill right through here.